if you something have a, so for example, 21, you got what? Negative 5. Negative 5 minus 4 is a negative 9. Yeah, I'm not writing anything. So, which endpoint you had the problem with?
It was a negative 5.
Okay. At negative 5, let's just put a negative 5 there. So it'd be negative 1 to the n, right? Times negative 1 and so this is going to be negative 5 minus 4 to the n. And I here is n times 9 to the n. So we say when x equal to negative 5, at this particular situation, you're going to have negative 1 times negative 9, that's positive 9 to the n, right? No, actually, yeah, 9 to the n times negative 1 over n to the 9 to the n. So this will cancel out. So it's a negative 1 to the n. But negative 1 is not to the, it's not alternating, right? N plus 1 is negative 1 n to the negative 1. Right? This is a 1, right? So these two can multiply together. That becomes positive 9 to the n.
Oh, wait. Why doesn't why is it not why is it not
Negative 1 over n. So they both have to the n power. So negative 1 to the n times negative 9 to the n. So that's going to be 9 to the n, right? Because they both have n power. So they both multiplying. And then there was a negative 1 to the first, not to the n. So it's not alternating.
-1 over.
Does that make sense? So this is so that's why negative 5. But 13 will work. If you have 13, let me plug in 13. So it will be negative 1 to the n plus 1 times, what is it, 13? 13 minus 4 to the n over n 9 to the n. So this one cancel out. And this one's alternating. Harmonic. So it's converge. Does that make sense? Because this is alternating. This one's not alternating if you have negative 1 over n. It's not negative 1 to the n. So it's negative 1 only to the n. It's going to be negative, like a diverge, right? So, but it's still diverge. So there is no to the n power, so it's not really alternating. All right, we're going to finish talk about yesterday. What did we talk about yesterday? We can take a derivative of the functions, right? We can take a derivative of power series. And we can take integration of power series. For example, I think we end with we says if f of x is equal to summation of n equal to 0, infinity. Sorry, let me if power series is this is a to the n times x minus c to the n, the f prime of x is equal to what? Summation of n equal to 1, infinity n, a to the n, times x minus c to the m minus 1. Is this okay? Because you basically take a derivative. If you take a derivative, what will happen? This n is going to come down in the front, and this becomes n minus 1. But your term's going to switch a little bit because you start at a1.
Why does it become n equals 1?
Because when you take it down, the n in the front, this is for the derivative. Because here, if you write it right out, that's a to the 0 plus a1 to the x minus c to the n plus a2 times x minus c to the 2. If you take a derivative that's a0, it's going to go away. So you start with a 0 plus a1 plus 2a2 times x minus c to the 1 plus 3a3 times x minus c to the 2. Okay, so that's why you start at the next term. Because your first term got rid of it. It's a constant. Now you can also integrate both sides. What happened if you integrate? If you integrate a0, what am I going to get?
You would divide.
No, well, yes, but we're going to write out first few terms. If I were to integrate this first term, what am I going to get? If I integrate this term, a0, what am I going to get?
N a0 over
No, if I integrate a0, a0 is a constant.
x times a0.
No, not x, because there's u substitution. There's a center somewhere.
Oh, x minus c. Okay.
Yeah, so there was a a0 times x minus c. That's the first term. Plus, well, let's integrate this one. So it'd be a1 times x minus c to the square over 2, right? Plus a2, a2 times x minus c to the third over 3. So I just basically integral each one. This 2 becomes 2 plus 1, and this one becomes 3, and the bottom becomes 3. So we can generalize this. It can be summation n equal to 0, infinity an to the x minus c to the n plus 1 over n plus 1 plus c. Now, you could have just do integral of this. Becomes n plus 1 over n plus 1, right? That's very easy for you to see. It's not like something that's very complex.
Is the plus c included in the summation?
Plus c is after. C is a constant.
So it is not.
Okay, so let's just say, how do I find the power series? We never learned this one, but we learned some basic ones, but we haven't learned this one yet. Natural log of 1 minus x. How do I find a power series of this? And we have radius convergence of -1 to 1. Now you got to think which function, if I take integrate or derivative, is going to be natural log of 1 over x. And it's something that we know of.
Right, 1 over x. 1 over 1 minus x.
Why?
Because
Why is 1 over 1 minus x? We know.
du over u, the integral is ln of u.
Okay, so, but we do know 1 over 1 minus x.
geometric.
That's geometric. So that is equal to the power series, a summation of n equal to 1 to infinity of 1 x to the n minus 1. So that's equal to, or it could be the other way, or summation of n equal to 0, infinity x to the n. So either way or another, it's fine. So that basically is equal to 1 plus x squared plus x cubed dot 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 is 1 over 1 minus x. This function f of x represented by this power rule within the certain interval -1 to 1.
When
So-
you were saying find the power series, you weren't saying find the like. I thought okay, so the ln1 minus x is just a regular equation.
No, that's our goal to get to ln of 1 minus x. So what we can do is we can say, okay, well, let's do integration on both sides. If I integration of both sides, what am I going to get? Negative natural log of 1 minus x. Right? It's really close to what we have. Is equal to integration of this is going to be x plus x squared over 2 plus x3 over 3 plus x4 over 4. Dot, 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 dot. Would you agree? If I integrate the left side, I'm going to integrate the right side as well. So this becomes a power series of negative natural log of 1 minus x. Even though it's not exactly negative what I'm looking for, but it's fine. We can get rid of the negative sign by multiply everything by negative. So that's going to be negative x minus x squared over 2 minus x cubed over 3 minus x4 over 4. So we got our goal. Now what happened? There was a plus c, right? Now when x is equal to 1, no, so when x equal to 0, what will happen? All this term is going to go to 0, so it'd be natural log of 1 is equal to negative 0 minus 0 minus 0 minus 0 plus c. C must equal to what? 0. So that, therefore, that is a good representation. Natural log of 1 minus x is a good representation by negative x minus x squared over 2 minus x cubed over 3 minus x4 over 4. Or you can even factor out a negative sign. That's going to be x minus plus x squared over 2 plus x3 over 3 plus x4 over 4. Or you can even write down a general term will be summation n equal to 1 infinity x to the n over n on negative 1 to 1. So natural log of 1 minus x is becomes this. Okay, let's start. How many people are lost? Okay, start with, do you understand 1 over 1 minus x is geometric series?
Yeah.
Do you understand that's represented by 1 plus
So-
x plus x squared plus x cubed? Hold on. Let me finish. Yeah, because you're going to have continuous question. Let me finish, explain everything. And then we can go back to figure out which one we don't know. So I hear this is represented by 1 plus x squared plus x cubed. What we want is we want to say, well, what's the power series of natural log of 1 minus x? But 1 over 1 minus x is not natural log of 1 minus x, but it's very close to it. Yeah, so I can take integration. Yeah, so I can take integration. So it was a derivative, so I can take integration. But when I integrate it, I have u substitution. U equal to 1 minus x, there's a du, so there's a negative in front of natural log. So that I also represent that, I also integrate that as well on the power series. So if I integrate a power series, the only thing I'm missing is a negative sign. So I'm going to multiply both sides by negative sign to get rid of the negative sign. Also, there's plus c. Because to integrate, you're going to have plus c. You don't know what c is. But we know x equal to 1, x equal to 0. all the x term is going to go away. So do you see all this thing that with the x term is going to completely gone, and this is 0. So natural log of 1 is equal to c, which is natural log of 1 coincidentally also equal to 0. So c is equal to 0. So you don't have no like the c issues. Now I can take this dot dot dot. I can factor out a negative sign and just put a negative sign in front of the whole power series that can be represented by that general form. And that's pretty much it. It's not something that is really difficult because you just basically know 1 over 1 minus x in relationship to natural log of 1 minus x. So the only relationship you know is integrate. So you can integrate the function and integrate the power series. Yes.
Well, when it says find the power series, you're trying to find a summation that represents a portion of the equation?
Yes, only -1 to 1 because there was a radius convergence, unfortunately. But yes, there was only a portion that's going to represent exact same thing if you go into higher iteration. If you go higher iteration, you're going to get almost the exact same function. Now, radius convergence is not necessary for -1 to 1. For example, sine of x and e to the x and cosine of x, they're all from -infinity to infinity. So if you go with higher iteration, those can be represented truly by the power series. Okay, so those are the things that you're supposed to memorize. So I'm going to tell you that instead of memorizing, I'm going to tell you how to derive them. You're going to have some homework question involved this that you can take it to both sides. And you're going to find out there are wider relationship with, which is question 63 and 64 if you look at the pictures. The 63 and 64, it has a 2 power series, f of x and g of x. By the way, if you pay attention from before, they all represent some type of function. And so 64 is also represented by some type of function. But we're not going to tell you what is it. You can plug in a decimal to see what it is if you really wanted to. But I want you to discover that. What kind of function will be that representation for 63? 63 has f of x and g of x, and 64 has f of x. And this is a very good indication of what we're going to do. Now, with that being said, this is for the first time I'm going to try to prove for you Taylor series. I've never done this before. So if I do a better job, if I do a shitty job, just let me know. So we know power series. So what is Taylor series? How much time I have? 4 minutes? Okay, John just sipped it. Don't worry, we have time tomorrow or the day after. Okay, so f of x equal to summation of n to the 0 to infinity a to the n x minus c to the n. This is center at c. Now here's what am I interested in. How do I know a of n? What is a of n? And how do I find a of n? Is any tricky way where I think his name is I don't know his name, but Taylor or McLaurin. How do they come up with this equation, right? How do they come up with this equation? Which is, I haven't shown you what the equation is. The equation is to find out what a to the n is. What is a to the n for any power series? Abstractively. Like, because a to the n could be anything. Like we did every single homework question, a to the n is completely different. But how do we find a general form of a to the n? What Taylor suggested says, well, if I want to find out what a to the n is, what we can do is take a nth derivative of this. So take the nth derivative. Take nth derivative of this power series.
The infinite
the nth derivative, not infinite, just nth. In this case, you can say that's infinite, but takes nth derivative. If you can take nth derivative, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to try that. Okay, so this is just a lot of busy work writing, but this one you don't. If you don't understand this, no big deal. It's not end of the world. But I just want to show you, mathematician is pretty genius. Like it's really genuine. Like how they come up with this. I always thought like mathematician is probably a lot more creative than any other thing, any other like specialists, like STEM specialists. I think that they have to think outside the box. Any other type of science, if you consider math as science. So the big question is, what is a to the n? Because a to the n is different throughout a power series. So can we find a general form of n derivative? What Taylor suggested says take n derivative. Now, how do I take a derivative? If I have f of x, so let me write down f of x is equal to a0 plus a1 times x minus c plus a2 times x minus c to the square plus a3 times x minus c to the third. Dot, 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 dot. Will be an to the x minus c to the n. If I take a first derivative, what am I going to get? a1, right? Plus a2 times x minus c plus a 3a3, 3a, sorry.
Eventually, with each derivative, they eliminate themselves.
Yes, sorry, 2a2 and 3a3
So
x minus c to the 2 and dot 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 dot, and this will be n a to the n x minus c to the n minus 1. Now if I keep on taking derivative, imagine if I take the second derivative, imagine if I take a third derivative, what will happen?
it would end up being n factorial times a to the n.
Yes, you are a genius. Fn of c is equal to n factorial times a to the n. And now we just find out what a to the n by solving it.
Of course.
This, and we'll go through that middle part of it in detail tomorrow. But yes, in a sense, if you take n derivative, then you're gonna get n factorial because it's gonna be n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 times n minus 3 times n minus 4. That becomes n factorial, and then that becomes a.
Wait, so why is it n of c?
Ever n of c? Because I gotta plug in c, I will have some type of center. We're gonna have some type of center later. But c, in this case, we just do 0. Ethan, you have a great abstract thinking. That's good.
I did it. I think it's, I was kind of trying to, I think the reason that I thought of that was because I got competition with the infinitely derivative. I was trying to figure that out, and that I was like, okay, yeah. So when I put it to you don't even have it. You only have it. But on Thursday, it's whichever. We don't have it all.
Taylor series is easy. It's a very just follow a pattern and do a thing, but the derive of Taylor series is kind of hard to finish. But tomorrow we can talk more. 你说。嗯
我再 speak，因为刚好妈妈也想听一下你的意见，不好意思，因为上次我记得我们聊了一下呢，然后我记得叶先生在 Olympia High 是数学老师。
Yes。
对，然后我记得叶先生上次有提起过，您女儿好像是不是读完那个middle school 要转到 Olympia High，是不是
？Yes. We already changed to go there.
OK
In middle school，因为我觉得只要没有坏的影响的话是不会这样。
那就是说，因为我女儿刚好她也是她想转，所以她现在也在旁边听，所以她可能中文程度没有这么好，可以我们或许讲英文可以吗
Yeah, sure.
So Gabriel, she's finishing seventh grade now at Orlando Middle, eighth grade, right? She's going to ninth grade next year, and then she had some thoughts that she want to enroll in what?
Olympia.
Yeah, the program. What?
Ace.
And then she wants to graduate earlier because she wants to start, and then just as we spoke the other day, I think that Orlando Science is sometimes lack of sports and arts and other.
And she was telling us that there is no this option in Orlando Science. That's why she wants to transfer to Olympia High.
It is true. So for example, in Olympia there was theater, there was a course, there was culinary, there was everything, every sports you can think of, tennis, golf, even like basketball, football. So in general, overall perspective, that if you want to look at overall as academic, besides everything else, and there was so many different after school clubs. So foundationally, I would think if it's me, I will always choose Olympia over Orlando Science. And now, not to say that Orlando Science doesn't have any negative parts of it, because you are in public school. So public school has, it does have more exposure to different kind of situation. But um, I do think that if you were in the good classes, you usually around with the really good kids. So let's just say for example, I will register most of the classes as AP class or ACE class, as much as I can, and then you should not have any like exposure of bad influence. I would say like for me like bad influence is everywhere. It depends on if a student can handle themselves. If they are mature students, they can handle themselves. If they're not mature, so that's why I didn't change my son out of middle school at sixth grade, because I don't think at the time like he's mature enough. At the seventh grade, I didn't change either, even though I want to change. But at eighth grade, I see like his maturity change. So we move on to Olympia. I think first of all, uh, for my reason is I'm a teacher there, so I can just take him there. So it's very easy. I can always watch over him. So with that insight, then actually it's better for me. I don't know about your situation. I don't know about your kid's situation. I can give you a couple example. There was a Korean girl um, went to OSS and then come to Olympia at ninth grade. She went to Harvard. She went to Yale. Um,
Wow.
okay.
Wow.
I'm just saying, like, if you are a like a very good student in OSS, I mean, we are not talking about top. We are not talking about top of the top, like top three. We're talking about like you just like top 10. And I hear you can be easily top five because the 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 culture is much more laid back. So I feel like there's actually more advantage in going to public school from that because you already have a rigid training of if you are a good student in in OSS, you're gonna be you're gonna be even better student. Hopefully, you are gonna be even better student in
So,
outside school.
so Gabby, she's fairly a very good student, but sometimes she feels pressured because they have a lot of good students, like the Indian kids.
Yeah.
So,
In a sense, I always tell people is I have another girl right now, like me. She's going to UPenn, and she's also from OSS. And this year's valedictorian is Shivan is from OSS. The I would say in OSS mid let's just say high like top 10 in OSS, or top like say this is about 10th or 11th place in OSS can easily be top 5 in here if they're doing the right thing, which is right now this year two student, one's valedictorian, one's go to UPenn. UPenn did not. She's top 5, and then the Shivan's going to UF. But however, I just think about that I don't think like because they still gonna select. Think about it. If you go to OSS, then they can only take one kid to MIT or one kid to Harvard, but that's the most, right? That's what you can do out of most cases. But I hear you got a lot more option. You got a lot more. You can build better resume in regular public school. But like I said, there was negative influences. There was probably fights, yes, but that's a that's really normal for all the high school. And but you don't usually get around those people anyway because you're gonna hang yourself with the right people. And so that's my opinion towards things, but I don't know your situation may be different. So I don't want to be like saying, okay, this is the only way to do it. No, I just think about it's good for my kids because I'm gonna make sure that he hang out lunch in my class and then he's gonna have appetite watch over him. So but he's becoming more mature, so I don't have to worry about it. Not because he went to Gotha, and he found that the rigor in Gotha is not comparison to OSS. So he actually missed OSS at one point. But I think when you go into Olympia, it's different. Olympia is actually the higher tier. So Olympia is like this: the top 10% of the higher level classes, they are really good. Actually, Olympia has the highest AP pass rate in the whole public school in Orange County. Um, yeah, we actually ranked first. But the problem is there are also other classes like if you go into other math classes, those kids cannot add. But the problem is the thing is you're not going to be in those classes, right? You're not going to be in that classes.
So Donna, your kids are in which grade?
My one kid is in eighth. He's same grade as your daughter. I don't think they have ever met because I think they one is in Links campus, one is at a different campus.
Okay.
So,
And he or she is in Goda right now, right?
yeah, he is in the Gotha right now.
Okay.
And he says, you know, comparison to OSS is um not as much homework, but I know that's gonna change when you go to high school because high school you got AP classes, you got all the classes. that he's gonna have a lot of work. So I assign him more work. Like for me, I actually take him. I actually told him to do. I actually told him to do algebra two, um, virtually. And then when he come to high school, he's gonna take pre-calculus directly. Where OSS doesn't allow that. Um,
Yeah.
so OSS has some type of restrictions. Says, oh, you cannot take this classes. So this is the bad thing about OSS is because you say, hey, I want to take this more advanced class. I want to take a virtual school of algebra two. You don't have option. Now, I'm not suggesting anybody do that because usually people take virtual school. They usually cheat. But my own kids, I watch him. I says, no, he will ask me how to do it, but I won't help him cheat. I will teach him. So those are like I have more advantage because I can control what they are. I have control, what's being taught. So that I have a lot of ability to manipulate.
Okay. And you have another kid, another daughter. It's already in Olympia, right?
No, no, I don't have. My one kid is eighth grade, and the other kid is at
Oh,
Tong Lake, and the next year is gonna go there. So that one, I might not put him in Gotha because I don't think Gotha has a. Honestly, if I were to, I won't even pull the kids out now to put the Gotha. I don't think Gotha is good school. I do think Windy Ridge is better school, but you're not zoned for there. And Chain of Lake is
it's not good.
yeah,
It's really bad.
Chain of Lake is really bad. And so the only good school, middle school around here are Windy Ridge, where their environment is a lot more safer, a lot more better. And but I'm not zoned for there, so I cannot get in there. So I might move my son to like a maybe like a like Holy Family or something like that. But that's I don't want to drive to OSS. I feel like OSS is great in some way. It's great to build a structure when you are in elementary and middle. And when the structure is solid, I will go to public school. I think that is the best, that's most efficiency uh for for anything. I think that because you build a structure, then the kids know how to work, how to do things right. And then when you go to high school, you're just doing the same thing because most of public school they don't have that structure. So they have to figure out in high school. So you'll be ahead of the curve. So I think OSS is good from elementary to middle, and it's not good for high school. In high school, and also if you're in the top 10, it becomes pretty toxic. I think everybody is kind of like aiming to each other, and I think it's toxic. It's also very stressed out if you're competing with those kids because
Yeah.
you can really compete with those kids. Those kids are family. They teach them math, and they teach like they are even more advanced than I am. Pretty much, I have kids who can probably does way better than I can in the things because their parents are some type of math genius and can teach them like
and
it can teach.
and they just hire all sort of tutoring. They take it pretty very seriously.
Yeah, no, they taken on another level. They taken on a level where I don't think it's significant. Even as a math teacher, I don't think you need to teach those extreme math. It's no point. There's no point doing that. But a kid's good enough for calculus A, B, B, C, calc three. Yeah, that's great. But I don't think those math is ever useful anyway. But I like it. I like to teach them. I teach competition math, but I don't. I know it's not for every kid.
And Donald, which grade math teacher are you?
Um, I, I teach every grade.
Every grade.
I
Okay.
teach I teach all the higher level class. So I teach calculus A, B, B, C, and the pre-calculus. So I teach three classes. So all the high level students go through me. So there's only one way out to Olympia. I'm a very difficult teacher though. I'm not gonna go easy on any of the kids. Most of the kids does um have they have a they are most of kids are really good. We have the highest pass rate in Florida. At least my class goes, my calculus goes is highest pass rate in Florida, and I don't have the best students because I have students that who can barely do algebra one, and but they have to if they were in my class they will have to work. I would teach them, but they will have to work.
Uh-huh. But like in general, would you say that your kids are a little bit more happier on public school? Because what we realized in Orlando Science, they sometimes are really strict. They can't even
Yeah.
talk and speak. They don't have free time. So sometimes I see they feel very frustrated.
I will tell you this: most of the kids that's from OSS in Olympia, uh,
Are they happy?
they they never regret that decisions, right? So they were like that's the best decision ever made. I can name like five people: Austin, Laxmi, Chauvin, Rayhan. There's a lot of people that it's from OSS, and they will say that would be the best decision. And there are two people went to Ivy. So far, this few year I teach that it's all from OSS go transition to Olympia. So in a sense, I don't think that's a at least for me, from my perspective, I like I said, I cannot speak for your decision. I will say that's most of the kids says that was the good decision. For example, Austin, he's on a water polo team, and he's a captain of water polo team. He's the best in the state. But if he go OSS, that would never happen, right? There was
Yeah,
no,
because
not
they don't
even.
have those structure. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have the OSS thing. And so for Lexmi, she went to UPenn because we have a business club here. I forgot what the club called, but it's for business. And she's a president of Florida in that business club, and she went to UPenn for it. Um, and the Korean girl I know 2 years ago, she didn't even. I mean, she went to Yale at the end. So I think that for me, like I would say, is in general, overall, everybody's perspective are very uniform. Says that was a good decision. But not saying that there's no negative here. There was some definitely negative. You're gonna see, like I said, you're gonna see fight probably every other week in the lunchroom. But I never go to lunchroom, so I just saw the video every time. But
But training jiu-jitsu regularly.
what'd you say?
I was kidding because she's well trained in jiu-jitsu.
Oh, okay, okay.
No,
Then
I'm
she
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No,
Th-
she did.
I'm just kidding.
okay. Then she's yeah. So the thing is like, but the thing is that you're not gonna hang around those students. So
Yeah,
you're not
correct.
even gonna sit with the same lunch table with those students because
Correct.
you're gonna sit on the corner where all the good kids sit. They just hang out on like kind of outskirt because the good kid they always hang out like outer rim,
Correct.
and they don't want to be in the middle of everything. And
Yeah.
they got in the drag to a fight or something like that. No, they're not gonna happen like that. But overall, kids are actually. I teach a lot of different school before. I teach two different schools. This is probably the best school I ever teach in because usually even the bad kids are pretty respectful, at least to me. Maybe I'm mean. Maybe like I'm more like I don't take BS from anyone. So I usually they don't mess with me either. If they mess with me, I'll make sure they know it. But so like I'm a tiny Asian guy, but they don't mess with me either. So
Okay, so Gabby has a question
sure.
for you.
So do like the bad kids like ever like provoke the good kids for like no reason?
No, I mean no, they don't. They don't. I have so so in the program in the school there was an Apex and Ace. So Apex kids usually hang out together. So usually they are in a group. Nobody really. It's not like High School Musical. No, nobody goes to.
Oh.
No, nobody go with you. Usually it's like you see like you see one black kid is fighting another black kid. That's pretty much most of the time it happen. I mean, or a Hispanic kid fighting with a Hispanic kid, but no like.
And do we have a large Asian kids population over there? How's the rate like?
Asian, as I would probably say, in the Apex class, probably 20 to 30%. But it's a different kind of Asian: Indian, Afghanistan, Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese.
Southeast Asian, like.
Yeah, that Taiwanese probably not many, but a lot of Vietnamese, a lot of Vietnamese, a lot of Koreans, a lot of Indians, a lot of so they are most of my calculus student are non-white. They are immigrants from different kind of places. They can be from Haiti. They can be from everywhere. So it's pretty balanced, I would say. I think it's one of the most balanced school that I have Portuguese. I have all different kind. It's really good. It's really good diversity. I feel like at least in the good classes like I teach calculus. Everybody is kind of like a little bit different, but their math here is really low. But again, uh, math in OSS, the reason why they are high is not because the teacher, is because the parents. So that's the main reason. Because I have a group of students in OSS.
Yeah, because sometimes there are occasions that my kids just come home and say, "Well, the teacher doesn't really teach, so you have to sort it out." And what happens with the Indian kids at those, like you mentioned, they go and get tutoring, but the teacher over there is not really teaching, and they have to sort it out what to do, right?
Yeah, yeah. So, for example, OSS, they have a group of students contacting me, and they're all Indian and Chinese, and they were in pre-cal class. They were like, my pre-cal teacher did not teach, and can you tutor us? I said, yeah, I have no problem tutor you guys. So yeah, so they are like their teachers not necessarily better. Is it because their environment they grew up with a better family that who can teach them math at home. So it's not entirely that they all like very good. We're talking about those good kids. Is only like only like 6 kids who are they always know what they're doing. But those 6 kids are they. But the thing is, those 6 kids gonna compete each other, go to Ivy Leagues, but and end up so only probably 2 or 3 can make it. But that's just the way it is. So I think like in the sense I don't know. For me, I make it a decision. I says, look, I'm not driving over there anymore. It's I don't feel the benefit of it, and I see there is more possibility here. So for example, our debate team, we actually went first in the state. So debate team at OSS is probably not big. So, like, if your kids like debate, man, the debate coach here is passionate. It's a very very good. One of my students just went first in debate in the state, and they are going to national. So I'm gonna tell my son to join debate, even though he's kind of awkward. So I'm gonna say, hey, I want you to be in debate, and we already talked about it, and he said, yeah, I'll join because he need to work on that aspect of things. And so yeah, so I think my personal view, it will be a good decision, at least from the most people I get. But and that's something I would say. But if you need any help, you don't need to mind. Like my room is in the corner of the school. If you need any help on anything, I usually help out. I help out a lot of kids. That's in my class. I actually they don't even have to be my student. I usually help out. So like there's somebody you can go to. And my son's gonna be here. I don't know if she ever met my son before. My son's not really like a,
Can you repeat your son's name, maybe?
his name is Devin.
Devin.
I think I've heard of him.
He's actually he's a lot more mature. When he's middle school, he's not really mature. When he was like sixth grade, he's not really mature, but he's a lot like he changed a lot too. Like he I don't have to yell and scream at him anymore. He's just it's pretty much like it's pretty much like he's a very good kid now.
Got it.
Yeah, there are the things that our two sons, my daughter and my son, they're all very mature actually. But the thing is that what I can feel is that they both are not happy in OSS. You know, they are they're frustrated. They cannot make friendship, and well, I told you, but
Yeah, no, it's a lot of time. Matter of fact, it was like there was too much time socializing in most cases. So no, you're gonna make lots of friends. And if you are in my class, if like hopefully that she will be in my class. I don't know which math she's taking right now. She's taking geometry. Okay, so she probably not gonna see me next year, but what she can do, she can like if she's very good at math, she can learn through learn after she got off finish OSF, she can do Algebra 2 online and just go to breakout. With my class, I make sure everybody's friends with each other. Like there is like everybody is like my class is very kids are very like talk to each other. So no. No, that's my all my students is because I believe that learning is talking to each other, not just by itself. So you see, my class is very loud. People just come in and talk about different things. They talk about all the kind of. But I also have a really good like, they knows like they knows how bullying happening. They not like maybe like OSS a lot of time like smart kid actually bully smart kid, and that happened a lot in OSS. And but I hear in my class that will never happen because I will make sure they be humble before it happens. Yeah, so I don't allow. I think the last time I made a kid cry, the kid was calling out the kid because he's smart. You feel like he's smart. That's it. That's it. So but most of the teachers are like this. They are not they are like me. So they have one of the best teachers. Like European history, English, not physics, but just don't take physics. They have a good science Olympia, European science Olympia. They're not better than the OSS, but they can do it. They have great debate. They have like one of the best debates. So there was a lot of things I did. But I'm gonna go back to class with next stuff too. If you need any help, just let me know. Yeah, sure. Love to hang out. My wife is. I love. Hong Kong. Okay, yeah, we'll probably like we can make a time and see if you want to go out to eat together at like restaurant. Okay. 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 Shh.
You put C on the flyer. I think I did. This is
second part of the SAT was hard, but I did well. I finished with 17 seconds on the clock, but I think I got everything right. So I think that's the best sign you could possibly ask for.
All right, so I know you're not allowed to share me SAT questions, but please share with me.
Bro, one of the questions on the first part was you have a 12-sided dice. What are the odds of you rolling a 5? On the first part.
12-sided die.
Yeah, what are the odds of you rolling a 5?
Then it's probably put 5 or 12.
She was the one who was confused about it. Not me. I did more.
All right, so what is the hardest question you see? Don't say I ask. I didn't ask. One person at a time. No, just tell me what kind of question you see that's the hardest.
They gave you 4 known variables. They gave you an equation equal to 0, and it was like t is more than u. Another one, other like.
Oh, I remember this one. So we gave you 2 quadratic equations, right? And one of them was something, and it said the zeros of this are t and u. T is greater than u. Then we gave you another one with the different variables, and then it said this equation is, I think, x squared plus 16x plus c is equal to 0. Its solutions are t plus r and u plus x. So we combine the two equations. What is c?
I think with the calculator it should be a lot easier, right?
That was least simple. There was not that many volume sections. So there was volume questions like
Okay, how helpful is Desmos? I don't know. Write your pass, I'll sign it.
Like that's how we know.
Is it line or quadratic? No, Bennett explained to me kind of. Alright, so was it Jesus here? He didn't even take the exam?
Unless they're excused last time.
Oh yeah, but this is not excused.
Let's have more work.
Alright, so guys. Alright. I post 2 questions, FRQ, you can work through it. Basically today is like that. I could teach, but I think your brain doesn't have the ability to go anymore. So just work on those 2 questions so you don't have homework when you go home. So 2 FRQ, 1 is a required calculator. On a calculator question, I suggest this is able to use 2 decimals and able to using your calculator. So both. Don't just be able to get 1, but you gotta be able to do both. Okay? So get to work. But yeah, if you have some interesting question you want to show me, then write on the board.
If cosine of something is equal to the sine of something, the opposite.
Yeah, it's like cosine of 30 is equal to sine of 60. So it's like unit circle.
I had one, and it was.
Write it down.
And then it said that 0, 8, and 144 and 0 were points on the G of X. And it asked for what S plus 2 was. So I ended up plugging in.
F of x equal to s plus x over t.
And S is your constant. So I ended up plugging in. I plugged in F of X here, and I plugged in those points to solve for it.
What is this? This is g of x.
Yeah.
That's a line or what?
No, it's not a line. I think it was I ended up being a line. So I plugged in F of X here, and then I plugged in those points to solve it.
So this is a g of x or is that?
G of X.
It's g of x.
And then you had to find what S plus T.
S plus
No, S. You got to find both points to add them together. So you had to find
Oh, this is slow. This is so you can use decimals here. So you can use decimals if it's a line. I don't know if it's a line, but it doesn't matter because this is g of x, right?
Yeah.
So you add table 0 and 8. And 144. So that is some type of line. And then you're gonna have this equation here. Is this. Okay, so this one's g of a. Now it's gonna subtract 4. So you're gonna this copy subtract 4, which is 4, like this. Okay, so then you probably need to convert this. Well, if because this is g of x, right?
Yeah.
So this would be gx minus 4, right?
So I ended up, I plugged in S of P into the F of X here, and then I plugged in the point to solve it.
Yeah. I know it's gonna be.
I got S equals 2. I do remember getting S equals 4, and then I got
S equal to 4 because that's a y number.
yeah, so I got that. And then I got P is equal to like 0 is decimal. I know that.
So this is I think this is 8 over 144. 8 over 144. That's negative, right? So this is negative. So that's also equal to negative 472. Negative 4 negative 4 72 1 over what? 18?
Yeah.
So that is the slope, 1 over 18. So yeah, it's a negative 1. So this is a 4. 4 negative 1 over 18. I don't know what they asked me.
They were asking for T. Like what?
T?
T if S plus T, saying that T is important.
T is going to be 18. But so either those two numbers add together. Well, the problem is a negative sign. So you're off by a little bit.
Yeah.
You had to add those two numbers together. So
It was my second section.
which question is that? This is probably 17 or 18.
Yeah, he was like,
It's sooner or later.
yeah, it's later.
No, it's not that bad. It's just like
Yeah.
you know that. Okay, so you know those 2 points. It's gonna equation this line, and that's gonna be 8. But this is g of x. But they want an f of x, so that means you have to move 4 to the other side. That means you have to subtract 4. So you'll go down here. So that means s is equal to 4. This is 1 over 18. Negative 1 over 18. But the problem is, I don't know if it's negative sign to the 18 or negative sign to the 1. That's the problem. I don't know what the questions were.
Yeah, it was
Unless they say 1 over t. S plus 1 over t or s.
It was S plus T, saying that they were both close to it. It was weird, the way they worded it.
Because it could be negative 18 if you put a slope on the bottom. You put a slope on the top. But usually you can say negative 1 over 18.
Yeah, okay.
So that will be probably 22.
No. I think I got like 2.9. Because I got T as adjusted. Because I didn't set it as
Because they want a 1. They want a 1 here because it says 1 over t. It says a 1 over t. So 1 over tx. So it has to be like this because this same thing as this, right? If I change this to 1 over 18, it's the same function. Same function will go into here. So yeah, so there will be same function. So it'll be 1 over 18. So that's could be 22, I would say.
okay.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. It's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
And besides, that's a later question. You can screw up. You can score up like 2 or 3 of those, and around 750. But I don't know if you only 750.
Oh, well, this is my first time taking the SAT. I take it again Saturday.
Oh.
I'm gonna do some studying like this weekend and then or this week and then do it.
Yeah, but definitely use the regression. Do you not use regression?
I think so. I was doing that. Yeah, I was definitely doing that on the test. Sure.
You don't need regression. You pretty much just take this divided by this. This is slope, and that's going to be 1 over 18. And then it was 8. It go down 4. I've seen those SAT questions before.
Okay.
The one that I do like well, that even when they have the answer was like 61 point a ton, so plug it back into the 63.
Your favorite.
Using calculator, you dummy.
Isn't it positive no matter what?
You are gonna be what?
This is my best SAT. Because I've taken SAT, it's just like,
Stock market just crashed. Oh, well.
how is it? Oh.
Only one left. It's 710. Yeah. 910.
Wait, 920. Isn't it 928 volts?
It's a 920.
What was your idea? On that one, 40, 30, it was like 38 to the. It was 38 to the.
Oh, they gave
30, it was 38. I know the answer. 38 to the.
Shut up, Connor.
It's point, and then it's plus B to the. Circle plus B to the. That's great. It's your. She was 25 minutes slow, and then you're 19.
That's the value of velocity.
Oh my gosh.
You take derivative of the v plus the square root of you get that value.
Okay, that's the way to see it. I already got started.
Everything you do, you have to do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, what are you adding to your positive or
Guys, if you walk through now, you have no homework. So it's not hard. 2 questions.
Yeah, we gotta add two. We gotta do one stick interval.
Give me about 20.
And then you
I got it wrong. Dang it. Your ugly calculator is
Do you have a block?
Why did I send it to you? That one, right? Wait, wasn't there like a second part of the
velocity is positive,
like it was just what the height was.
Okay, so think of velocity as this way for acceleration.
Did it need like a specific answer?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So in this situation, say I'm getting up and I'm on this way. And then this CA pushes me back in. This CA with me. Yes, right? Yeah. Does that make sense? Oh yeah, you okay.
If I have whenever you might say,
Yeah, that's the part.
The first five games, they're not.
Like I did get this like insane constant back.
But they get like a drastic change from 5 to 9. So it was like first 5, next 10, and then
did you guys get the one about the graphic table? Bro, with the hexagon tables?
No.
Rectangle tables?
tell me about the question.
It was like,
Throw it out.
it was like, there's a guy, he makes tables, and the tables that are, wait, the rectangle tables are worth 2 times what the cost it takes to make the tables, and the hexagon tables are worth 2.5 times the cost it takes to make those tables. And then if he makes like $90,000, how much more money did he make selling the hexagon tables than did he make selling the rectangle tables?
No idea what you're saying.
I know either. It was like I put a vote.
That's the last question.
No, it was like in the middle somewhere. I don't know.
And probably not that hard, but I just think it worded very funny.
I know it was weird. I put them both on the graph and I got an answer, and it was like close to the other answer, but it wasn't one of the answers.
So I think they were just like I'm on the phone.
Yeah. Is something then you can click on it.
There's no luck involved involved, right? So I think I found a good question. Many, but okay, mini golf is all luck.
Mini golf higher score wins.
Involve too.
Like consistent loss.
You're like stumped like I don't know. Everything works, but you won. The second session was so easy, and I think but I did so good as a test.
My second session scared me. It was really easy at first, and then it got
Like mine was like normal the whole way. I don't know. Maybe I'm just so smart. I only didn't answer. I thought I did trick. I thought I did like good in the first section, and in the second section I only didn't answer. Why I answered? And you will get. It was like all kind of easy.
This question I should not have done. This should be good.
I think the one where it's like you didn't take practice then, right?
That's okay. What's the maximum value fee? I put
A is the correct
This was Fox method.
yeah. I did a thread box.
No, I looked it up for yellow. Oh, what's the maximum value?
It's 38 times.
Oh, I thought.
Well,
if I get you a number. Like it is the constant.
Whoa. Yeah.
Oh, 50 times 1 is 50. 30 times
To be
50.
it'd be
That makes no sense.
x over 4 times e to the
You know, I could get you to do that. You know what's happening? Gemini also told somebody to kill himself. I don't think he's gonna trust me.
No, they tricked Gemini to tell you.
No, it was actually just a kid who texted Gemini, hey, I'm having problems with this. And Gemini said, well, I don't really, you should probably kill yourself. And you're like, from being out
Hey everyone, today I've got an exciting video.
Oh wait, breaker.
You know, one of the teams from Ricker is Jerry Bull. They got disqualified because he cheated. No, he meant anatomy and then professors and geometry. That's what he cheated.
Oh, I mean, wait.
I mean, two of them.
You tell you're fired. Oh,
I don't know what his question is. You guys told me the actual question.
Yeah, she can.
Okay, yeah, so if you want to make this look like this,
Dude, when I see
so
kids, I think like,
now you want to list two. You want to divide it by half.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can just
You
like.
can make this look like this. One by myself.
You're just.
Divide by 20.
Yeah. And then they give you the enchilada. I miss that. And you would add the cheese.
Yeah, it says at the top, graphic calculator required.
Yeah. I don't think we're
You can check your
because you have it equal to the best of on me, but I got this. I did too.
integral sign.
You're looking like it's
When you gonna know your score?
It's April 3rd.
Why so late?
No, it's not.
It's a digital.
Yes,
You should know like tomorrow. I mean,
yeah,
how hard to decide curve one question, two questions if you have all the data? They're not gonna curve like 5 questions. Huh?
This should be the.
reading question. One of my reading questions I already have. I remember
Exactly the same.
exactly.
That's why it's okay. So I'm gonna tell you, like I watch Chinese social medias, and there's a people already know what the test question is.
In China?
They claim that they have exact tests.
Exact tech.
And then
Do they really?
They have what?
Do they really have it?
No, they just say contact me. I have exact tests. You're gonna have to pay for it. Probably, but a lot of them, it's known in the past that I have student told me that there's one student I tutor. It's not SAT, it's SSAT. It's different one for international student. She said she had the exact same test, and it was done by I think it's done by college too. So I won't be surprised that it's true because she says exact same test. She just memorized the answers. I don't know who created SSAT. Yeah, this test.
No, I'm talking about how zero.
my mom's not chaperoning. She thinks her daughter thinks she is.
Why would? Because she was
My
like,
dog
oh
would
wow,
do
even if someone's gonna be shot, it's like, you get everything. Oh,
I wasn't. I told her. I told let her know like a little I let her know a little while ago that she maybe could, but she had work that day. So like, I told her like.
Wait, why are you laughing?
Not for sure. And then she didn't even like ask me.
I have a million words anyway.
What did you like? Oh, that's
Well,
Bro, I have
Bro, it's not my fault.
I have a I have guinea pig dog in this. I have guinea pigs that died of
I didn't. This is my dad's story, but they had
my mom pulled out. My mom, she's always
my dad made her some chickens. They took the chickens out, like telling him and ate them.
You got what, 1.6?
I don't know what I was doing really.
No, you got 1.6, right?
Well, look at like the fourth one.
Fourth one.
The one after this. 1.9.
Negative 5 or
Oh my god, yeah.
You need 1.6? 1.9? Did you flip it upside down? What is that?
I did not flip it upside down. You flipped it.
Why would you?
Did you subtract by 4? Like 60, like divided by 6?
Right, he did 3.
That means that we added 3.
It's 12.979. But the entire thing got like,
Yeah.
it's not even,
You have to add 2. You're supposed to subtract it. Like you have.
I just did it.
I got 12 points.
you don't add 2 because this is crap. Yeah, that's like how much is moving it down. What did you say? What? Well, it started like I'm working on something. If it, how much distance from the original point? Or like, it's gonna be so far. It's gonna be
How are you supposed to do that?
Oh, I see what you
Oh, I see what you want.
No, why should I grab on that?
So if you're finding an absolute maximum, you need to have a table.
Yes. I don't know what the question is.
Determine the x coordinate with the absolute.
Sometimes I tone it out.
Yeah, so it's, do they have an initial condition? No, they have 0. Okay. So it could be 0 to here, or 0 to here, or 0 to here, or 0 to here. So I think you have to do candidate. So let's just say
My mom
yeah, absolute maximum you have to allocate. You have to figure out where's a possible point you have to do, and you have to do the area.
But 2 times 0 is
No, I don't.
Did you not read the sentence? Oh my god. She walked into our he walked and he was like this. Like he already took his bathroom. He walked into our it was in the middle of the walked in.
Dude, he's no, it doesn't mean you have to do it. Oh wait, no, I'm not.
Oh wait,
Arm was in that room.
no, Proctor. It's just random.
I'm gonna change it back.
Oh my god, you would be so hard in my house. That one time she called you and I me, Debbie, and the only time we have playing is right and she wanted that to hear. But he does make
It's like a weird. You know, it's not like it's a. Oh no, that's not like that.
or it's
Yeah, they do.
Dude, you know what place is underrated? Olive Garden. No, it's not.
Olive Garden will never be underrated. That's like saying no one's underrated.
Sunday was my first time going to Olive Garden.
No kidding.
What do you do?
First time you went to Olive Garden?
I've never been.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I could just eat the soup and the breadsticks the whole time.
They're not underrated.
I love it.
What kind of soup you get?
The chicken, like, no cheese, like that.
I like Olive Garden too.
So good.
I know.
Olive Garden for years.
But I got in a fight with Olive Garden manager one time. Huh? I went there like around 8:30 at night, and we just sit there and we're waiting there for like 30 minutes, and nobody even comes say hi. Like never, ever happened. Like Olive Garden, that never happened. And there was the other table, like the plates like stack up, like nobody's cleaning them, and like. But I would be okay like if you just come by since we're understaffed, and I'm sorry, I apologize and stuff like that because those does happen. Yeah, they leave you there, and so like 30 minutes pass by, my kids are complaining hungry, and so I finally got upset. I was like, dude, at least you have somebody come say hi and says wait a little bit or whatever, give us something that we can, at least like breadstick we can eat. Like that's like least minimum we can do, you know. It's like, and then like that, it was a gay guy. He's very sassy, and I was like, dude, we just trying to get food. So we get up and left, and we said, you know, forget this. And I basically was like, he was turning around to tell somebody, and I was tapping and says, thank you for your help. And he's like, don't touch me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm just saying thanks for your help or thanks for your non-help actually. Yeah, and he was like, he was very, very sassy. He was like, don't you touch me. And I'm like, dude, I'm just telling you, like, you are doing a bad job. So my wife called and complained, we got $100 gift card after that.
my aunt is like the typical Karen, right? Like she's retired. She worked at Coca-Cola, right? So she's like, okay, right. She complained to Amazon about a 2-day late arrival on an air fryer. She got 3 free air fryers from Amazon after it was done. She's done that multiple times. That's why I have the microwave. Because she complained and got an extra microwave.
Well, that's smart. I love air fryers.
Yeah, it's smart.
My
To,
mom has like 4. I don't know why she did that. Even like the grocery
No, like we won't complain if it's like yeah, it's not a big deal, but literally like there was another table, and they were serving them, and we just sit there and wait, and that's
Oh, just not that.
my aunt is crazy. To be honest, that's my craziest aunt probably. Right, like she so her job at Coke is basically networking with SeaWorld. That was her entire job. And so whenever she only invite us to SeaWorld like once a year, and we'll just go, and almost everything is free except for like merch. Like oh, I want a soda. Okay, yeah, sure, go get it. It's like free. It's odd, but it's amazing.
My dad used to work for EA. He must have been
My brother is really odd. My brother used to compare her to his almost to Riot. Nothing really interesting happening, to be honest. But the funny thing is, the kid is really good at Riot games. So he's like spring because I've known most of them. My best friend was homeschooled. His brother won over like $120,000. Those were the fun days. Greg is automated to play a random character. That guy would play Yasuo. He would crush people. And I felt so bad. How many years are you on? That's all. Bye. Thank you. Bro, I downloaded BitLife and my sister like $30. $30? For what reason? Yo! He's like,
I'd rather just do this, bro.
bye. Well, today is almost over.
I'll give you 2 pounds back. That's like 30 or 40. I went my backpack at the start of the school year and I was like, 20 pounds? That's it?
Ceiling.
What's up?
I wanted to.
How'd you do, Isaac?
Oh, I didn't take the PT.
Oh, you did not? You're taking this Saturday?
Saturday, yeah. Yeah, but I haven't applied for it. Just paid for it.
Anna, did you take the SAT? How'd you do?
The first section was good, but then the second section was hard.
Yeah, usually it's a win. Did you finish though?
I finished them, yeah.
You finished the second section?
There was a lot of questions that like I knew because of what you taught here. Like there's a lot of trigonometry.
Oh, okay.
Yo, bro, you won't get it. I'm gonna pick you. You got 6 out of 6. Me? I like you, man. Me. Oh yeah, I was like, what the? You got 6 out of 6? Like shit, I did. How did you know on the course team? I get the grade. How did you know you got 6 out of 6? The grade is really great, man. Oh, I got like 4 out of 6. You know, the last one. He only said a few people got the last one. No fuck. Bro, I know if he's holding it, there's no word. I thought he was pushing me. I wish I was a brother.
That's what happened. Oh no, wait. Yeah, it doesn't feel like Mary, man.
He gave us the mechanics set, and we were like solving it. At the top, so I was like, you know, I thought you were like this, bro. Hey, go on, I had to do 3, 4, and I wanted to pick 5, 6. And I had like 20 minutes. I didn't go through it.
Sean,
I almost saw my time on the MCQ. I'm like, I'm gonna get other ones. All the MCQ is equal to like 1 point. No, 1 point, no, 1 FRQ. So you know, you gotta read on your own. I'm gonna formulate.
Not yet. All right.
I thought online, I thought.
Thank you. All right. Yeah. Hopefully your SAT was good.
I'm not reading was horrible. Yeah, like,
You're not a reader.
I know. I can't read. I did actually 10 questions.
Did you guys get a? Did you have a circle question or no?
The total area of a triangle, a square, and a circle equals like 16 times 5. I could like.
Wait. Tell me what's your question?
The question was, they're like the sum of the area of a rectangle, a circle, and a right triangle equals 16 times 41
16 plus 41.
times
16 times 41
plus pi.
plus pi.
Yeah.
Like that?
And that, that's it. And then there's like, if the base of right, like the base of the triangle is 16 and the diameter of the circle is 1/4, and if the length was like 32 and the width was like 30 something, what is the height of the triangle?
I don't know.
Wait. Say that again. Okay, so you got a square.
Yeah.
You got a triangle and you got a circle.
And you got a circle.
Okay.
I don't remember the numbers exactly for those rectangle. Rectangle, I think one side was 35 and the other was like 20 something. The base of the triangle is 16. The diameter of the circle is 1/4 the base of the rectangle. So, and then the whole thing, like the area of the whole thing is 16 parentheses 41 plus 5. And then now you're looking for the height of the
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. You just have to figure out like this, this is a restriction. This is gonna be going to this, and if you figure out, they should be able to figure out rectangle, and if you figure out subtract everything away, it should be able to figure it out. I don't know the actual number, but I don't think it's not doable. All right, so we are finishing with graphing sine and cosine, but I'm going to talk about a couple of things, extension to that. Graphing sine and cosine has, you can model with certain situations. So I want to get your notes out